All right, so here's an update. I didn't really take any video because last time I was kind of involved with this wiring. Just about there. We got our harnesses or boards hung up and just have to plug the wires in. I was having issues with the manufacturer distributor again. Really piss poor communication with them, and they still haven't responded from days and days of sending them emails. So they probably hate me. But I started getting the pulley system mounted up. Still gonna have the same issue I did before with the radiator. I have a huge radiator, so I'm in the process right now. I'll just show you how that's looking. So this is the issue. They sent me this separate, and they sent me with a plastic, which was supposed to be chrome reservoir for my power steering. I don't know if anybody else has had this issue with pulleys or components, but when I couldn't get the bolts to thread in, so I didn't want to force it, so I basically took a tap and retapped the 3 holes and all the way completely through and back out, and then I was able to get those bolts secured nice and snug, so it worked. Putting that pulley on, I had to put the pulley on to the power steering pump too. I didn't have a tool to do that, so I made it work with a socket and just kind of ratcheted it down as far as I could, and that worked. It took a little bit of time, and I didn't have a vise or anything, so kind of muscled it in. Now with this radiator, it's huge, and it's the same one I had in before, but the only difference with this one is actually, it has a 16-inch fan, which is right here. All right, it's gonna go on to this, but it's gonna have a shroud. With that shroud, there's no way it's gonna work. It's definitely gonna be hitting this this water pump pulley. So it was actually hitting before, just barely, where it wore it enough. The old engine, where it wore it, kept rubbing on the motor of the electric fan, and it was just barely, but it wore it enough where it kind of stopped rubbing because it just kind of chipped away at it little by little, and I just let it go because I knew I was going to replace everything, so I didn't care at the time. Well, this one I care about, and I'm going to I wish I had a different camera so I use my phone on this because it's a pain. I know the quality sucks. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to flip this around by hand. I'm taking these little spot welds. There's 3 on each side. I already broke it loose on one side. It looks like there is I don't know if you guys can see it, a bolt right down here, not the one hanging down there, and then on this side I'm starting to grind away these spot welds. You can see how they spot welded it back in the day. It's actually just a weld, tack weld. So I'm gonna take those off, pop this whole entire I guess U bracket out. It's pretty flimsy, so it's not really supporting. I got a cross member down here, and I'm gonna cut that off. And if you can see underneath, I'll try to get in here. Here's the bottom. I'm grinding that off, and I'm actually the whole cross member, and I'm dropping it. And I don't know if I'm gonna go forward with it. We'll see. But I'm dropping it down to the bottom. I'm gonna weld it back up, and maybe I'll probably move it forward a little bit, if not all the way. That'll give me a little bit of room to free up. And yeah, I could probably buy a different, like a 60s Mustang water pump, short water pump, and I'll have to get a new damper and all that stuff, and I'm not gonna go through it. I already got so much money into this. I'm just gonna make it work. The only thing is I'm gonna have to do a lot of mock fitting with the front clip. The grill right now is not even here. It's gonna be another 3 weeks. It's in the chrome shop. It looks good when they're painted fresh, but when you're driving it as much as I'm driving, you're gonna get chips. So I was like, screw that. I'm gonna get it chromed out, and then this bottom piece right here, you can see I kind of grinded already. It's ugly, but it's not really seen when everything's on it. Where I had to make the radiator fit the last time. So I'm gonna clean all this up, and we'll see how that works. So for now, the distributor issue fixed. The wiring's ready for the components, and that's it. I mean, I'm basically just for today, I'm just gonna I'm gonna get this bracket out of here. I'm gonna chop it down. I'm taking these, I don't even know if you can see that. See how it kind of rounds? I'm chopping this whole middle piece off. I'm gonna cut it, grind it so it's straight flat down and not have that roundness to it. So my radiator will go down deeper, and then figure it out from there. I'll probably just keep the side parts of it, so that the brackets that are already welded and that are TIG welded onto this aluminum radiator will bolt up to it, look a little nicer. What else is going on? I have a floor pan that came in from Michigan. I'm putting that in the driver's side. It's the only part that was kind of wore out. Never did it before. All this stuff I've never done before. Transmission cooler. I bought one. It's huge, and don't need it. I'm gonna probably sell it. And then the actual gas tank I'm gonna put in. And that's it, man. I think the next go around, when these guys come to finish that wiring, it should be ready to start up. Probably won't be driving it because the drive shaft that I had in this thing is too long. It's just, I'm not gonna mess with putting it back in. So I will probably get it. I don't know if I'm gonna do the measuring and have one built, or if I'm just gonna bring it in. I think I'm gonna have it flatbedded in to a place that does drive shafts here. I'll find somebody that knows somebody, and then while they're in there, I'll have them pop the cover off the gearbox in the back, just kind of reseal it and check it out. Just put fresh oil in there and be done with that part too, because it is leaking a little bit, and it probably hasn't been popped open since they put this car together after they redid it. So the inside of the car looks like a disaster, but it's what it is. There's the wiring, steering wheel drop. I got my harnesses up on the side over there on the driver's side, and then dash is sitting here, just kind of waiting for everything to be put together. The dash goes on very easy, not worried about that. So that's my update. Sorry for the bad quality in videos. I need to get another camera. I don't like using this phone. And that's about it. I'll let you guys know updates probably after the fact, because it's a pain doing this all and then having to film at the same time. The quick wire side of it, the issue with that is it's an awesome system. I love it. The guys that are actually helping me out with it, they love it. So they're gonna actually, one guy's gonna buy a quick wire setup for his whatever project he has. I can't remember if it was an S10 or a Durango, but he's totally gonna eliminate his ECU and all that. The problem is with this is I have the Holly system, and with this Holly system and the dual sync distributor that I decided to go with, and I did the MSD and then the Dakota digital gauges, they all have their own separate, I guess the dual sync distributor doesn't, but trying to match it up with the CD box and all that was just kind of different. So trying to find info on that was different. Not many people do it that way. But trying to get this all routed together, because the Holly Sniper EFI harnesses, it comes with a lot of wiring, and it has a lot of the same wiring that the quick wire uses. So just trying to come up with a new map system to make it all work together so that we don't have to use every wire was kind of a challenge, and we haven't ran power to it yet, so we don't know. So there's things like tack cable. Which tack cable are we using or are we not using? Now on a stock setup, I guess you just, the regular gauges and all that wouldn't be an issue, but since we're putting in that digital gauge, we decided we're going with the flow. We're trying to see what works, and hopefully on first startup it works, but I doubt it. I doubt it's all going to come together like we plan. So any of you guys have any of these issues or doing the same type of deal, chime in, comment. I know I just got one subscriber, but if anybody just is watching this video and have any wiring experience or what I can do with that. I know there was differences in wiring certain components if it was a 5 volt versus a whatever volt system, and so we've been doing a lot of reading in manuals and online forums and all that, and just I'm trying to pick and pull any piece of advice I can get and reference it to something else. Morning. So hope you guys enjoy.